Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. On today's video we're going to be looking at minimal drum and bass style basses. Once again, this time I'm going to be showing you how to make a kind of siren-y bass sort of sound. Is what I've gone for as a name for it. I'm not exactly sure what to call this type of bass, to be honest. But it works quite well for sort of minimally style tunes and kind of more darker sort of like deep drum and bass. So you might notice I'm using a beat here that I've already used in a previous video that we did recently. So let's have a listen first of all to the bass that we're going to be making in this video, and then stick around afterwards to find out exactly how this bass was made. So let's have a listen to the bass we're going to be looking at. Here we go. Excellent, so let's get right into it. Here we go. So in this video we're going to take a slightly different approach, and I'm going to show you how this bass was made previously, rather than walking you through freestyle making a bass as we do the video. This time this one has been done previously, so we're going to dissect it. This is a good technique you can use also when using presets already made. Go through them and dissect them and find out what kind of tricks, etc. we used to create these basses. So let's begin with dissecting this bass. First of all, we can see that we have oscillator 1 and 2 both using basic shapes, and they're both using the sine wave. Oscillator 2, we can see that the level has been turned all the way down. Now, hovering over this, you can see LFO 3 is what is controlling the level of oscillator 2 to come in. So this turns up the volume of the level for oscillator 2. Okay, so you might notice also that this oscillator 2 is on 48 semitones, so that's a whole 4 octaves higher. Okay, this is because we're using oscillator 1 to FM from oscillator 2. So we can see this level here. Let's go to LFO 3 and see what LFO 3 is doing. So this is the shape we've got for LFO 3. It's on trigger mode and it's on 1/8 dotted notes. The smooth has also been pushed up a little bit here, and the smooth is also being controlled by one of the macros, macro 3. So we can change the smoothness with macro 3. Okay, and that's what that is controlling here, macro 3. One more thing to mention about each oscillator is that both of the phase times are on 0%, so they both start at exactly the same point. And let's look at a couple of other modulations that are going on here. So first of all, sticking to oscillator 2, you can see that this pitch here is being modulated by macro 1. So we can change the pitch of this, which will affect the FM sound. So macro 1 goes down to -24, basically. So you can see macro 1 at the moment is turned all the way up to 100%, meaning it's on 48. If I was to turn it down, let's have a listen first of all on the original setting. And now if I turn this macro to say 50, then that means we're going to be 12. We get that, and then if we go even further, we come down another octave. And we end up with sounds like that. So this can obviously be modulated or automated, within the sequencer or within the arrange page. So you can come up with some cool like automation with that sound. Okay, another thing here, as you can see, the FM has been turned up here, and there's a few things that are modulating this FM as well. So if we come down here to have a look, LFO 1 is one of the things that's modulating the FM. So let's come over to LFO 1. This is what LFO 1 is doing. It's on 1/1. It's in envelope mode, so it only plays once every time a note is hit. It doesn't keep repeating. Smooth has also been turned up a bit. This time it's just on regular beats tempo. It's not on dotted or triplets. Okay, so LFO 1 is pretty much about halfway almost and that's the shape that's happening here every time we press a note. You can see there's also a few other modulations here. We've got LFO3, and also we've got macro 2 controlling this. So macro 2 controls this going down like this. So this LFO3 here, we already know what that was doing because we've looked at that one previously. So we know the shape, etc., and the settings for that one. Okay, so that's it for this oscillator as well. If we come down here, you can see that the sampler is also on, and the sampler is just on a white noise. It's also got some modulation going to the level. Okay, the LFO1, as we can see, it's already open here. This is going to the level, so we know this one is just doing one rise to the volume, and then also LFO3, which we know is wobbling. Okay, because this one is on trigger mode, so it's wobbling at a different speed. So we're getting between these two, because of the different settings, 1/1 and 1/8 dotted over here, we're getting a kind of syncopated rhythm between our LFOs. This is something we'll look at in another video at some time, but that's something we'll look at in another video in some more detail. But let's continue with this preset. So now we know we've got those two modulations there. The other modulation we've got is this one here on LFO2. This one is just going straight down, and it's controlling, if you look here, the transpose. Okay, this is set up in the matrix. Okay, and then the matrix, if we find LFO3, or sorry, LFO2, which is right here, you can see that it's set to voice transpose, and if we right click and enter value, you can see it's already on 3. So that's just pitching down every time we play a note. Okay, it's also on envelope mode, so it only does it once. Let's come back over to the effects now. So in the effects here, let's have a look and see what's exactly going on in the effects. There's not much, to be honest, in the effects section. Over here, all we have is the typical distortion. Okay, and it's also got some modulation, as we normally do, to the drive. LFO1, once again, is modulating the drive amount, and also LFO3. So you can see, once again, we're using the kind of syncopated LFO technique here. We can also see that we're on hard clip here, not soft clip. So out of all the options, we've selected the second one here rather than soft clip. The filter's not on, so that's basically it for the distortion. After that, we then have a filter, which is on analog 12 dB. Just a basic standard default preset that opens up when you open up the filter. We've added a bit of drive. The mix is all the way up. The key tracking is also all the way up to the right. And then the cutoff is pretty much all the way to the right. Not quite, it's just down a tiny bit, as you can see there. Okay. And then after the filter, we've just then added a little bit of reverb to the top end, just to give it a little bit of room space on that top end. So we've got these macros here as well, obviously, that we can use to add automation and create some interesting automation ideas. So we've got this one, remember, goes to the smooth. So if I turn this all the way up, you'll notice that it gets rid of all the wobbles, because the smooth that we're controlling is the smooth on LFO3, which is the one that's wobbling. So I can kind of get rid of this wobble by turning it all the way up. This is kind of turning, almost like turning this LFO off without turning it off, so to speak. So have a listen here, you'll see what I mean. So I'll play it without turning it off. And now I'll turn it all the way up, and that's kind of effectively turned it off. We end up with just a basic stabby kind of thing, which is just kind of what this is doing here. Okay, and then if I want to bring LFO3 back in, then what I'm doing effectively here is just bringing this back up, and then I get. Cool, guys, so thanks for watching. I hope you learned something in this one. Until the next one, take care of your girl. Take care of yourself and your girl. Until the next one, peace.